A student convinces themselves it's too late to improve and never studies. You have a choice. You can let the stories run your life. Or you can rewrite them. That's the key. Recognize the chains. Notice your recurring thoughts. Identify the negative scripts you repeat automatically. They are habits of the mind. They are patterns you have reinforced over time. You have a choice. You can stay blind to the programming. Or you can see it, name it, and take control. That's the key. Once exposed, challenge every belief. Ask yourself, is this fact or story? Most limiting beliefs are stories. Not facts. Not truths. Just interpretations you've accepted without question. I'll never succeed is not truth. It's fear disguised as certainty. I'm not good enough is not reality. It's comparison disguised as failure. It's too late is not fact. It's procrastination disguised as timing. You have a choice. You can let fear run the show. Or you can interrogate it. That's the key. Rewriting beliefs requires evidence. Gather proof that disproves your story. Look at past successes. Small wins count. Remember times you succeeded when you feared failure. Remember times you acted despite doubt. Each example is a crack in the chain. Repetition strengthens this new narrative. Do it daily. Affirm your capability. Visualize success. Reject old scripts every single time they arise. You have a choice. You can let lies define you. Or you can reinforce truth. That's the key. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Not wishful thinking. Not empty affirmations. Specific, actionable beliefs rooted in your own history and effort. I can learn what I need to succeed. I am capable of solving this problem. It is never too late to start improving. This is not fluff. This is combat. This is your mind taking its rightful place as an ally, not an enemy. You have a choice. You can indulge excuses. Or you can adopt truths that propel action. That's the key. Action validates new beliefs. Thought alone is not enough. You think, you act, you repeat, you reinforce. Invest in the stock you fear. Speak in the meeting you avoid. Write that first chapter you doubt. Every step proves the story false. Every action rewires your brain. You have a choice. You can let fear dictate your path. Or you can prove your capability through relentless execution. That's the key. Expect resistance. Your mind will fight the rewrite. Old stories are comfortable, familiar, safe. You will feel fear. You will feel doubt. You will hear the familiar voice of you can't. That's normal. Every time you act in defiance of the old belief, the chain weakens. Every time you take the action despite fear, the story dies. You have a choice. You can retreat into comfort. Or you can confront the voice and move anyway. That's the key. Accountability accelerates change. Talk to someone who sees your potential. A mentor, a friend, a coach. Let them challenge your stories. Let them reinforce the truth you sometimes forget. We cannot always see our own blind spots. You have a choice. You can face change alone. Or you can use allies to strengthen your mind. That's the key. Anchor new beliefs in action and evidence. Repeat the process. Notice limiting thought. Challenge it. Replace it. Act to prove it false. Every cycle strengthens the new mindset. Every repetition is a neural pathway leading to freedom. You have a choice. You can remain enslaved by old narratives. Or you can rewire your mind for success. That's the key. The stories you tell yourself are lies. They are not destiny. They are not fact. They are not reality. Change the story. Change the outcome. Every great achievement began with someone rejecting the limiting narrative in their head. Every major breakthrough started with someone saying, I am capable. Every path to freedom begins with the recognition, you are the author of your life. You have a choice. You can remain a character in someone else's story. Or you can write your own. That's the key. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation. You don't need perfect timing. All you need is courage, repetition, and relentless action. Believe in your ability. Act to prove it. Repeat until it becomes who you are. You have a choice. You can be imprisoned by your mind. Or you can be liberated by your actions. That's the key. Break the chains. Challenge the story. Replace the narrative. Act despite doubt. Repeat relentlessly. Your mind is now your ally. Your life is now in motion. You have a choice. You can remain limited. Or you can become unstoppable. That's the key. You exposed the hidden beliefs. You challenged the lies. You acted anyway. Now, it's time to master influence, not of others, but of your own mind. Because when you control your beliefs, you control your life. You have a choice. You can let the story write itself. Or you can take the pen. That's the key. You mastered fear. You mastered distraction. You mastered your environment. Now, you master your mind. And the world bends to those who control the story within. Chapter 3. The Winner's Eye, Seeing Opportunity in Obstacles. Life is full of obstacles. Every day, the world throws problems, setbacks, and challenges in your path. Most people see walls. They see limits. They see reasons to quit. You have a choice. You can see barriers. Or you can see openings. That's the key. Winners don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't complain about circumstances. They don't argue with reality. They look for opportunity where others see defeat. You have a choice. You can join the crowd that sees only difficulty. Or you can become the person who sees the stepping stone. That's the key. Every obstacle has a lesson. Every problem contains an opportunity. A student who fails a test can either quit or analyze weaknesses and improve. An entrepreneur who faces a market downturn can panic or spot unmet needs and pivot. A professional passed over for promotion can complain or learn skills that make the next opportunity impossible to ignore. You have a choice. You can get stuck in regret. Or you can extract advantage from adversity. That's the key. Reframing is a skill. It doesn't happen automatically. It requires awareness and practice. The next time a problem arises, stop. Pause. Step back. Ask, what advantage can I find here? How can this difficulty become leverage? It may not be obvious immediately. It may feel uncomfortable. That's normal. Discomfort is part of growth. You have a choice. You can react emotionally. Or you can think strategically. That's the key. Look at real-world examples. Entrepreneurs who saw failing industries as opportunities now dominate markets. They observed gaps that others ignored. They acted decisively while others hesitated. Students who leveraged poor grades into focused skill development now excel. Athletes who turned injuries into new training methods come back stronger. You have a choice. You can ignore lessons. Or you can extract advantage. That's the key. The mindset is simple. It's not about luck. It's about perception. It's about seeing what others cannot see. The same storm that floods a city destroys lives for some. For others, it reveals need, demand, and opportunity. It's not about luck. It's about awareness. It's not about resources. It's about decision-making. You have a choice. You can focus on scarcity. Or you can focus on openings. That's the key. This requires action. Seeing opportunity is meaningless without execution. If you spot a gap in the market, act. If you see a weakness in yourself, act. If you notice a chance to learn, act. Winners see and then do. You have a choice. You can be passive. Or you can be relentless. That's the key. Obstacles also teach timing. Sometimes the win is not immediate. Patience is required. Observation is required. Strategic positioning is required. But waiting does not mean inaction. Use the time to prepare, to learn, to sharpen skills. When the opportunity arrives, you are ready. You have a choice. You can rush blindly. Or you can position wisely. That's the key. Every problem is an invitation. Every setback is a message. Every failure is feedback. Do not react with fear. Do not complain. Do not shrink. Instead, analyze. Extract. Pivot. Execute. You have a choice. You can react like everyone else. Or you can respond like a winner. That's the key. Repetition reinforces this mindset. Every time you encounter difficulty, ask, what is the hidden advantage? Where is the opportunity? Make it a habit. Make it automatic. When it becomes instinct, you will see openings before obstacles. When others quit, you move forward. When others panic, you innovate. You have a choice. You can follow the pack, or you can set your own course. That's the key. Examples compound learning. Keep a journal of opportunities found in adversity. Review patterns. Notice recurring chances that were invisible before. The mind trained in opportunity sees more, acts faster, and accumulates wins. This is how the average becomes extraordinary. You have a choice. You can ignore lessons, or you can capitalize on them. That's the key. The most important principle: action validates perception. Seeing an opening without acting is meaningless. Every opportunity requires a step. Every advantage is useless without execution. Start small. Test. Adjust. Expand. Repeat. Big wins are built on a series of smaller wins, extracted from problems that others avoided. You have a choice. You can remain passive, or you can seize openings relentlessly. That's the key. Winners anticipate obstacles. They expect problems and plan for them. They use challenges to create leverage. They operate from a mindset of control, not victimhood. You have a choice. You can be surprised by setbacks, or you can anticipate and dominate. That's the key. Remember, where others quit, winners see opportunity. Open your eyes. Look closer. Analyze deeper. The next problem you encounter is not a wall. It is a ladder. The next setback is not a stop sign. It is a stepping stone. The next failure is not a verdict. It is a lesson. You have a choice. You can surrender to circumstance, or you can transform adversity into advantage. That's the key. You don't need anyone's permission to succeed. You don't need luck. You don't need perfect timing. All you need is perception, courage, and execution. You have a choice. You can remain constrained by obstacles, or you can rise by seeing opportunity where others see none. That's the key. You trained your mind to master fear, distractions, and beliefs. Now, you train your mind to master circumstances. Every obstacle is a test. Every problem is an invitation. Every setback is a signal. You have a choice. You can see walls, or you can see openings. That's the key. Open your eyes. Find the win. Repeat the process daily. Embed it in your thinking, your habits, your actions. Where others quit, you advance. Where others complain, you execute. Where others hesitate, you act. You have a choice. You can remain ordinary, or you can see opportunity and dominate. That's the key. You mastered fear. You mastered belief. You mastered your environment. Now, you master circumstance. You see opportunity where others see obstacles. And that is the mindset that multiplies results, scales success, and accelerates life. Chapter 4. Failure is feedback, turning setbacks into success. Failure is not final. Failure is not a verdict. Failure is feedback. You have a choice. You can see defeat, or you can see data. That's the key. Most people fear failure. They hide from it. They deny it. They rationalize it. They say, I can't try because I might fail. You have a choice. You can live afraid, or you can embrace the lessons hidden in every setback. That's the key. Failure teaches faster than success ever will. It shows you what doesn't work. It exposes gaps in skill, knowledge, and strategy. It reveals assumptions you were too arrogant or too lazy to challenge. Every mistake is a guide. Every setback is a map. You have a choice. You can ignore the message. Or you can study it, extract it, and use it. That's the key. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Every failure was a step closer to success. He didn't collapse under disappointment. He didn't curse the process. He learned. He adapted. He persisted. You have a choice. You can cry over your mistakes. Or you can iterate, refine, and improve. That's the key. Startups fail all the time. Products flop. Markets reject ideas. Teams fall apart. Yet some entrepreneurs take each collapse and build the next success faster, smarter, stronger. They fail fast. They learn fast. They move faster. You have a choice. You can resist failure. Or you can accelerate through it. That's the key. Failure is not shame. Failure is insight. Failure is a blueprint for improvement. But only if you analyze it. Only if you apply it. If you hide from it, you repeat it. If you rationalize it, you replicate it. You have a choice. You can be a prisoner of mistakes. Or you can be a student of progress. That's the key. Repetition solidifies understanding. Every failure you survive and learn from strengthens your decision-making. Every mistake you process teaches your instincts. Every setback you confront rewires your mental framework for resilience. Do it again. And again. And again. You have a choice. You can run from difficulty. Or you can embrace the growth that comes from discomfort. That's the key. Real-world example. Consider a professional passed over for a promotion. Most people sulk. They complain. They settle. The winner analyzes. What did I lack? What skill did I ignore? How can I improve before the next opportunity? They fail, learn, and return stronger. You have a choice. You can accept rejection as defeat. Or you can extract insight and level up. That's the key. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds you that mastery is earned, not inherited. It forces you to confront weaknesses you were too proud to see. It shows you limits, and from limits, you find leverage. You have a choice. You can blame circumstances. Or you can internalize lessons and grow stronger. That's the key. The most critical action is reflection. After failure, pause. Analyze. Ask. What went wrong? What assumptions failed? What can I change next time? Then take action. Adjust. Execute. Iterate. You have a choice. You can stew in disappointment. Or you can convert frustration into forward motion. You mastered learning from failure. You mastered seeing opportunity in obstacles. Now, you master exceeding the average in every thought, action, and decision. Chapter 6. Focus like your life depends on it. Distraction is the silent killer of potential. It creeps into your day disguised as connection, entertainment, or necessity. Social media. Gossip. Endless notifications. Random tasks that feel urgent but aren't. You have a choice. You can let distraction control you. Or you can control your attention. That's the key. Most people underestimate the cost of scattered focus. Checking your phone every 10 minutes. Jumping from one task to another. Multitasking. All of it steals energy. Steals time. Steals results. You have a choice. You can let your mind be fractured. Or you can concentrate on what truly matters. That's the key. Focus is not a skill you were born with. It is a muscle. It is discipline. It is daily practice. It requires saying no. It requires resisting the temptation to switch. You have a choice. You can be reactive, letting the world pull you in every direction. Or you can be proactive, guiding your attention like a laser. That's the key. Look at winners in every field. What separates them from the rest isn't talent alone. It's focus. The entrepreneur who shuts down notifications to finish a pitch deck. The author who writes 1 uninterrupted hour every morning. The athlete who blocks out noise and drills technique until perfect. You have a choice. You can drift with distraction. Or you can harness your focus for massive output. That's the key. Distraction doesn't just steal time. It erodes skill. It fragments learning. It divides your energy. 1 unfocused hour is not 1 lost hour. It's 3, 5, 10 hours of potential drained. You have a choice. You can tolerate constant interruption. Or you can defend your time fiercely. That's the key. Here's the first step. Identify your top priorities. List the 3 most important outcomes you want today. Everything else is secondary. You have a choice. You can chase trivial things. Or you can focus on the vital few. That's the key. Next, time block your day. Assign specific hours for high-value work. Protect these hours like a fortress. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. You have a choice. You can allow distraction to dictate your schedule. Or you can dictate your schedule with precision. That's the key. Single tasking is non-negotiable. Switching between tasks divides your attention and halves effectiveness. Do one thing. Complete it. Move to the next. You have a choice. You can scatter your effort. Or you can concentrate it. That's the key. Daily reflection is another weapon. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I focus on what mattered? Did I let distractions win? Awareness compounds results. You cannot fix what you do not see. You cannot improve what you do not measure. You have a choice. You can ignore this feedback. Or you can adjust and dominate tomorrow. That's the key. Real-world example. Consider a student cramming information while constantly scrolling social media. Retention is poor. Comprehension shallow. Energy depleted. Contrast that with a student who schedules 3 uninterrupted hours for study, turns off notifications, and blocks unnecessary interruptions. Results multiply. Retention solidifies. Confidence grows. You have a choice. You can be distracted and frustrated. Or you can be disciplined and successful. That's the key. Distraction also comes disguised as business. Meetings without agendas. Emails that don't require immediate response. Overcommitment. These are sneaky thieves of focus. You have a choice. You can be busy, scattered, ineffective. Or you can be strategic, deliberate, and productive. That's the key. Every distraction avoided strengthens your skill. Every focused hour compounds mastery. Focus sharpens skill. Focus multiplies results. Focus creates destiny. You have a choice. You can scatter your energy. Or you can concentrate it relentlessly. That's the key. Protecting focus is not selfish. It is essential. It is the foundation of all achievement. Your mind is the first arena of victory. Control your attention. Control your results. You have a choice. You can drift with the noise. Or you can master your concentration. That's the key. Here's the final reinforcement. Eliminate the small distractions first. Phone notifications. Background apps. Unnecessary meetings. Then tackle the big distractions. Low-value projects. Toxic people. Habits that fragment your time. Replace passive scrolling with reading or skill building. Replace gossip with intentional networking or learning. You have a choice. You can let your environment dictate your outcomes. Or you can engineer your environment for focus. That's the key. Remember, winners are not lucky. Winners are disciplined. Winners choose attention like a weapon. They defend it fiercely. They guard their hours, their energy, their mental space. You have a choice. You can let distractions steal your potential. Or you can master focus and multiply your results. That's the key. You have trained your mind to resist average thinking. You have learned to see opportunity in obstacles. Now, you must control the single most valuable resource in your life: your attention. Distraction is the enemy of winners. Focus is their weapon. You have a choice. You can drift through life, fragmented and scattered. Or you can command your focus, dominate your craft, and create extraordinary results. That's the key. Chapter 7. Surround yourself with winners or lose. Your environment shapes everything. It shapes your thoughts. It shapes your habits. It shapes your results. You have a choice. You can allow your surroundings to control your life. Or you can control your surroundings to create your life. That's the key. Most people ignore this truth. They blame luck. They blame circumstance. They blame opportunities that never came. The reality? Their environment set the stage. Toxic people. Negative spaces. Constant distractions. These are silent drains. You have a choice. You can tolerate them. Or you can act. That's the key. Who you spend time with matters more than you realize. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that. 5 people. That's the influence. Choose poorly, and your ambition shrinks. Choose wisely, and your results multiply. You have a choice. You can blend with mediocrity. Or you can surround yourself with excellence. That's the key. Look at winners in every field. Their circles are intentional. Mentors who push them. Peers who challenge them. Accountability partners who hold them to their word. No accident. Every relationship is deliberate. Every interaction has a purpose. You have a choice. You can drift with whoever comes along. Or you can curate your circle for growth. That's the key. Toxic people are not just annoying. They are dangerous. They plant doubt. They spread excuses. They normalize complacency. They make you question your ambition. You have a choice. You can stay surrounded by negativity. Or you can step away. That's the key. Now, let's talk about opportunities. Your environment either opens doors or closes them. A cluttered home, constant distractions, energy-draining spaces. All of it limits what you can do. Winners engineer their environments. Clean spaces. Minimal distractions. Visual cues for productivity. You have a choice. You can live in chaos. Or you can create order. That's the key. Action is essential. Start small. Audit your circle. Identify people who lift you. Identify people who drain you. Make hard choices. It's not selfish. It's survival. Your growth demands it. You have a choice. You can stay comfortable. Or you can step into your future. That's the key. Next, design your physical environment. Remove temptations. Create triggers for discipline. Visual reminders of goals. Dedicated spaces for work, learning, and skill building. Your environment whispers to you constantly. Does it say, you can do this, or you can wait? You have a choice. You can ignore the whispers. Or you can shape the message. That's the key. Technology is part of your environment too. Phones, apps, social media, endless notifications. These are silent productivity killers. Winners use them as tools, not as masters. Set boundaries. Schedule focus time. Remove alerts. You have a choice. You can be controlled by your devices. Or you can control them. That's the key. Mentorship is another non-negotiable. The right mentor accelerates growth. They see what you cannot. They challenge your blind spots. They show you the path before you stumble. You have a choice. You can go it alone. Or you can seek guidance. That's the key. Accountability partners are equally critical. Someone who calls you out when you falter. Someone who celebrates when you succeed. Someone who ensures your words match your actions. No excuses. No shortcuts. You have a choice. You can drift in isolation. Or you can surround yourself with accountability. That's the key. Every habit is influenced by environment. Want to read more? Keep books visible. Want to exercise more? Keep equipment in sight. Want to eat healthier? Stock the right foods. Change your environment. Change your habits. Change your habits. Change your life. You have a choice. You can leave it to chance. or you can design it deliberately. That's the key. Real-world example. Consider a young entrepreneur surrounded by procrastinators. Energy drains. Ideas die. Momentum slows. Contrast that with an entrepreneur in a peer group of high performers. Ideas ignite. Motivation spreads. Momentum builds. The difference? Environment. You have a choice. You can let your circle limit you, or you can let your circle elevate you. That's the key. Make no mistake, the wrong environment will sabotage even the strongest will. Discipline alone cannot fully protect you. Your surroundings shape what you think, feel, and do. Every influence counts. Every cue matters. You have a choice. You can ignore this, or you can act intentionally. That's the key. Final reinforcement. Audit, adjust, and surround yourself deliberately. Choose mentors who stretch you. Choose peers who challenge you. Choose spaces that inspire you. Choose habits that reinforce growth. You have a choice. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Win together. That's the key. Your environment is no accident. It is a reflection of your values and priorities. You now know the power it holds over your results. You have a choice. You can let it control you, or you can control it to amplify your potential. That's the key. Chapter 8. Identity is your ultimate weapon. Everything begins with who you believe you are. Identity is not about what you do. It's not about your job, your title, or your accomplishments. It's about what you see in the mirror when no one is watching. You have a choice. You can let your past define you, or you can define yourself. That's the key. Most people fail because they identify with weakness. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. I'll never succeed. These are lies. You don't need their permission. You have a choice. Change your identity. Change your outcome. That's the key. Identity drives action. If you see yourself as a quitter, you quit. If you see yourself as a victim, you stay stuck. If you see yourself as a winner, you push past resistance. You have a choice. You can cling to excuses, or you can claim power. That's the key. Think about elite athletes. They don't just train their bodies. They train their minds. They see themselves as champions first. Then their body follows. Their identity dictates their performance. You have a choice. You can think like a loser, or you can act like a champion. That's the key. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about discipline. Discipline starts with identity. What kind of person does the work, even when no one is watching? What kind of person refuses to quit? What kind of person wins regardless of circumstances? You have a choice. You can pretend to be someone you're not, or you can become the person capable of greatness. That's the key. Every action reinforces identity. Wake up early? You are disciplined. Push through pain? You are relentless. Finish the work no one else will? You are unstoppable. Do it again. And again. You have a choice. You can wait for motivation, or you can embody the person who doesn't need it. That's the key. Identity protects you from failure. When failure hits, it doesn't shake a winner. Because winners don't fail. They learn. They adapt. They adjust. Their mind is unbreakable. You have a choice. You can be fragile, or you can be resilient. That's the key. Repetition is your ally. Every time you think like the person you want to be, you reinforce that identity. Every time you act like that person, you cement it further. Visualization, affirmations, conscious decision-making, all tools to forge identity. You have a choice. You can drift through life, or you can intentionally craft who you are. That's the key. Look at entrepreneurs. The most successful don't just do things differently. They think differently. They see themselves as creators, problem solvers, risk takers. That identity shapes every decision. That identity makes failure irrelevant. You have a choice. You can stay stuck in doubt, Or you can adopt the identity of someone who wins. That's the key. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment. Your actions, thoughts, and habits must match your chosen identity. You can't tell yourself you're disciplined and skip workouts. You can't say you're courageous and avoid challenges. Identity is not a label. It's a standard. You have a choice. You can settle for less. Or you can demand more from yourself. That's the key. Language shapes identity. Notice what you tell yourself. I try versus I do. I'll see versus I will. I can't versus I will figure it out. Words are the bridge between thought and action. You have a choice. You can speak like a victim. Or you can speak like a victor. That's the key. Identity is contagious. Surround yourself with people who see themselves as winners. Watch how their mindset influences yours. Your circle shapes the person you become. You have a choice. You can stay isolated in mediocrity. Or you can immerse yourself in excellence. That's the key. Here's the ultimate truth. Your identity makes all obstacles temporary. When you are the person who wins, failure is irrelevant. Discomfort is temporary. Criticism is irrelevant. Setbacks are learning. You are unshakable. You have a choice. You can let circumstances define you. Or you can define yourself. That's the key. Every morning, ask yourself, who am I today? Not what will I do? Who am I? And act accordingly. Even if fear says no. Even if the world doubts. Even if the odds are stacked. You have a choice. You can let your identity be passive. Or you can embody the person who cannot lose. That's the key. Remember, actions follow identity, not the other way around. Do not wait for confidence. Do not wait for clarity. Be the person who takes action, then the results follow. You have a choice. You can chase results. Or you can claim identity and let results chase you. That's the key. Final reinforcement. Win in your mind first. Every habit, every decision, every action flows from this. When your mind is unbreakable, your results are unstoppable. You are the person who cannot lose. You have a choice. Choose to be that person. That's the key. Chapter 9. Discipline is the proof of identity. Identity is not proven by what you say. It is proven by what you do, especially when it is uncomfortable. Anyone can claim a powerful identity. Few are willing to earn it. This is where discipline enters. Discipline is not punishment. It is confirmation. It is the daily proof that the identity you claim is real. You have a choice. You can talk about who you want to be. Or you can act like that person, consistently. That's the key. Identity without discipline is fantasy. Discipline without identity is torture. When the two align, power is inevitable. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it is restriction. They think it is suffering. They think it is forcing yourself to do things you hate. That is weakness talking. True discipline is self-respect in action. It is choosing long-term authority over short-term comfort. It is choosing who you are becoming over how you feel right now. You have a choice. Comfort or command. That's the key. Look at your daily behavior. That is your real identity. Not your intentions. Not your plans. Not your promises. Your habits reveal the truth. If you avoid hard work, your identity is avoidance. If you quit when it gets difficult, your identity is fragile. If you show up regardless of mood, your identity is strong. You have a choice. Reinforce weakness. Or reinforce strength. That's the key. Discipline closes the gap between who you are and who you want to be. It removes excuses. It removes negotiation. It removes delay. It replaces all of it with action. This is why discipline is feared. Because it exposes self-deception. You cannot lie to yourself when your actions are recorded daily. Most people avoid discipline not because it is hard, but because it reveals who they truly are. You have a choice. Hide from the truth. Or use discipline to rewrite it. That's the key. Discipline is built in moments no one applauds. Early mornings. Late nights. Repetitions when motivation is gone. Those moments are invisible, but they are decisive. Every time you act when it would be easier not to, you cast a vote for a stronger identity. Do it once, it's effort. Do it repeatedly, it becomes who you are. You have a choice. Act occasionally. Or act until it becomes automatic. That's the key. Discipline trains your nervous system. It teaches your mind that resistance does not equal danger. It teaches your body that discomfort is temporary. Over time, fear loses authority. Excuses lose credibility. Delay loses appeal. You become dangerous to your old limitations. You have a choice. Let resistance control you. Or train yourself to move through it. That's the key. Discipline is how identity becomes reliable. Anyone can be disciplined when they feel inspired. That proves nothing. Discipline is proven when inspiration is absent. When energy is low. When results are slow. When no one is watching. That is when identity is tested. And tests are gifts. They reveal whether your self-image is real or imagined. You have a choice. Collapse under pressure. Or rise through structure. That's the key. Discipline simplifies life. When standards are clear, decisions disappear. There is no debate. There is no emotional bargaining. You don't ask, should I? You act, because that is who you are. This is freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is no longer being controlled by impulse. The disciplined person is not restricted. They are liberated from chaos. You have a choice. Live reactively. Or live deliberately. That's the key. Discipline builds trust. With yourself. Every promise kept strengthens self-belief. Every commitment honored builds confidence. Every completed task reinforces authority. Confidence is not loud. It is quiet certainty built from evidence. This is why disciplined people move differently. They don't rush. They don't panic. They don't over-explain. They trust themselves. You have a choice. Erode self-trust. Or compound it daily. That's the key. Discipline is the bridge between identity and results. You cannot think your way into outcomes. You must behave your way into them. Thinking shapes direction. Action determines arrival. This is where many fail. They think clarity comes first. It doesn't. Clarity follows action. Confidence follows execution. Identity follows discipline. You have a choice. Wait to feel ready. Or act until readiness becomes irrelevant. That's the key. Discipline also sharpens emotion. It does not eliminate feeling. It places feeling in its proper role. Emotion becomes information, not command. You feel fear, but you move. You feel doubt, but you execute. You feel resistance, but you proceed anyway. This trains emotional resilience. Over time, emotions stop hijacking behavior. They pass, without control. That is mastery. You have a choice. Be emotionally reactive. Or emotionally regulated. That's the key. Discipline compounds faster than motivation. Motivation spikes and crashes. Discipline builds steadily. Small actions, repeated daily, create momentum. Momentum creates identity. Identity creates outcomes. This is the loop. Break discipline, and the loop collapses. Protect discipline, and everything strengthens. You have a choice. Protect the loop. Or sabotage it. That's the key. Discipline also demands honesty. You must face what you avoid. What you delay. What you excuse. This is uncomfortable, but powerful. Self-honesty is the foundation of self-mastery. Without it, discipline becomes inconsistent. With it, discipline becomes precise. You stop guessing. You start correcting. You have a choice. Lie to yourself gently. Or tell yourself the truth and grow. That's the key. Discipline does not require perfection. It requires persistence. You will miss days. You will stumble. You will fail at times. What matters is response. Quitters see failure as identity. Masters see failure as feedback. They correct. They continue. That is discipline at scale. You have a choice. Use mistakes as excuses. Or use them as data. That's the key. Over time, discipline becomes lighter. Not because effort disappears, but because resistance does. What once felt hard becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes routine. This is how identity locks in. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. And that changes everything. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop doubting your follow-through. You stop fearing hard work. You trust your system. You have a choice. Live in internal conflict. Or live in alignment. That's the key. Discipline is the daily vote for the person you claim to be. Every workout. Every focused hour. Every finished task. These are not small actions. They are identity confirmations. Stack enough confirmations, and your old self has no authority left. You become who you practice being. Final reinforcement. Identity is declared in the mind, but it is proven through discipline. Do not tell yourself who you are. Show yourself. Every day. Without negotiation. Without excuses. You have a choice. Stay theoretical. Or become undeniable. That's the key. Discipline is the proof. Chapter 10. Build systems that make failure impossible. At some point, effort must give way to structure. Willpower must give way to design. Desire must give way to systems. Most people try to change their lives by trying harder. They rely on motivation. They rely on emotion. They rely on discipline alone. That approach breaks. Discipline is powerful, but discipline without systems is fragile. It requires constant energy. It demands continuous self-control. Under stress, it collapses. You have a choice. Rely on force. Or rely on structure. That's the key. Systems are how discipline becomes sustainable. A system is not a routine. It is not a checklist. It is not a schedule. A system is an environment where the right action is the default, and the wrong action is difficult. When systems are built correctly, failure is no longer tempting. It is inconvenient. This is how masters operate. They do not fight temptation. They remove it. They do not argue with themselves. They design their lives so the argument never starts. You have a choice. Live in constant internal conflict. Or build systems that decide for you. That's the key. Most failures are not moral. They are structural. People do not fail because they are weak. They fail because their environment is stronger than their intention. Your phone is stronger than your focus. Your habits are stronger than your goals. Your defaults are stronger than your dreams. If you do not design your environment, it will design you. You have a choice. Be intentional. Or be conditioned. That's the key. Systems remove friction from success. If you want to train, make training automatic. Same time. Same place. No debate. If you want to focus, eliminate distraction before it appears. Not during. Before. If you want to execute daily, decide once. Then remove choice. Choice is the enemy of consistency. Every decision drains energy. Every debate creates delay. Every delay weakens momentum. Systems eliminate all three. You have a choice. Decide repeatedly. Or decide once and execute forever. That's the key. Systems protect you on bad days. Anyone can perform on good days. That proves nothing. Bad days reveal structure. When you are tired, stressed, or emotional, your system either carries you or exposes you. A strong system does not ask for motivation. It assumes resistance and plans for it. This is maturity. You do not plan your life around ideal conditions. You plan it around reality. You have a choice. Design for perfection. Or design for pressure. That's the key. Systems also create identity reinforcement. Every automated behavior sends a signal. This is who I am. You wake up early because the system says so. You train because the system says so. You work deeply because the system says so. Identity stops being an idea. It becomes infrastructure. Infrastructure is harder to break than intention. You have a choice. Live on ideas. Or build foundations. That's the key. Systems must be simple. Complex systems fail under stress. Simple systems survive. If your system requires high motivation, it is broken. If it depends on perfect timing, it is broken. If it collapses when life gets busy, it is broken. The best systems work on your worst days. Ask yourself, can I execute this when I am tired? Can I execute this when I am busy? Can I execute this when no one is watching? If not, simplify. You have a choice. Complicate your life. Or engineer it. That's the key. Systems require boundaries. Boundaries protect focus. Boundaries protect energy. Boundaries protect standards. Without boundaries, systems decay. You must decide in advance. What is non-negotiable? What is unacceptable? What ends the day? These decisions must be made when you are calm, not when you are emotional. You have a choice. Let emotions set boundaries. Or set boundaries that control emotion. That's the key. Systems also require review. What is measured improves. What is ignored decays. Daily reflection keeps systems sharp. Weekly review prevents drift. Adjustment maintains alignment. This is not self-criticism. It is self-command. You do not attack yourself. You correct the system. Blame weakens. Design strengthens. You have a choice. Blame yourself endlessly. Or fix what is broken. That's the key. Over time, systems reduce effort. At first, structure feels restrictive. Then it feels supportive. Eventually, it feels liberating. You no longer fight yourself. You flow through pre-decided actions. This frees mental energy for creativity, strategy, and growth. You stop wasting power on basics. That is leverage. You have a choice. Spend energy deciding. Or spend energy executing. That's the key. Systems make success boring and inevitable. No drama. No spikes. No crashes. Just daily execution. This is why systems outperform talent. Talent fluctuates. Systems endure. Talent seeks inspiration. Systems produce results. You have a choice. Chase excitement. Or build inevitability. That's the key. Failure becomes rare. Not because you are perfect, but because the system catches you. Miss a day? The system resets you. Lose focus? The system realigns you. Get distracted? The system corrects course. You do not spiral. You stabilize. This is resilience by design. You have a choice. Recover emotionally. Or recover structurally. That's the key. Systems turn discipline into instinct. Instinct does not debate. Instinct acts. When action becomes instinct, results follow effortlessly. This is when mastery becomes invisible. You are no longer trying to succeed. You are structured to succeed. Final reinforcement. Willpower is temporary. Systems are permanent. Motivation fades. Structure remains. Discipline is powerful. Systems make it unstoppable. Build systems that assume weakness, fatigue, and resistance, and still move you forward. That is intelligence. That is control. That is mastery. You have a choice. Trust emotion. Or trust design. Choose design. Winning begins in your mind, and if you do not master it, nothing else matters. You've learned to identify the lies you tell yourself, to embrace failure as fuel, to eliminate average thinking, to focus relentlessly, to control your inner dialogue, to enforce discipline, and to surround yourself with winners. This is not theory. This is the battlefield where every victory is won. So here is your challenge. Right now, Take one thought that has held you back and crush it. Replace it with a winning thought. Take immediate action, and repeat daily. Think like a winner. Act like a winner. Become unstoppable. Your life is waiting. Claim it now. Winners are not born. Winners are made. And they are made by one thing: the way they think. Every thought you entertain, every story you tell yourself, every belief you cling to either lifts you towards success or drags you down into failure. If you want to win at life, you must first win in your mind. Today, you will learn how to control your thoughts, crush limiting beliefs, and build a mindset so powerful that success becomes inevitable. If you think like a winner, you live like a winner. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Win in your mind. The first arena of victory. Everything starts in the mind. Every success, every failure. Before you act, before you speak, before you move, your mind decides the outcome. You have a choice. You can let your mind wander into fear and doubt. Or you can take control and make it your strongest ally. That's the key. The mind is the battlefield no one else can fight for you. If you lose here, the world doesn't give second chances. If you win here, reality bends to your preparation. Athletes know this. A sprinter visualizes every step of the race before stepping on the track. A fighter runs through rounds in his head before entering the ring. CEOs anticipate obstacles, rehearse decisions, and act before opportunities even appear. You have a choice. You can wait for luck, or you can prepare mentally and force your own victory. That's the key. Your thoughts precede action. Every action you take is a reflection of the stories you tell yourself. If you think small, your results remain small. If you think you're beaten, defeat manifests. If you think strategically, doors open where others see walls. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Mental discipline. You have a choice. You can let your mind run wild, or you can dominate it. That's the key. Mental preparation is non-negotiable. You cannot wing this and expect consistent success. Your mind needs conditioning just like your body. Visualize, rehearse, anticipate, imagine obstacles, and plan your responses. See the victory, feel it, own it. If it's not in your mind first, it won't be in your life. You have a choice. You can drift aimlessly, or you can build mental muscle and win the first battle before the world even knows the fight began. That's the key. Fear, hesitation, and doubt are the real enemies. They live in your head. They whisper excuses. They exaggerate risks. They freeze action. When you master your mind, fear loses power. Hesitation disappears. Doubt transforms into clarity. You have a choice. You can surrender to the chatter in your head, or you can become the general of your thoughts. That's the key. Start your day with mental rehearsal. Anticipate challenges. Visualize decisions. See yourself responding with clarity and strength. Example: before a difficult meeting, imagine questions. Rehearse your answers. Feel calm. Feel confident. Example: before a workout, see each rep completed perfectly. Feel the burn. Own the progress. Your brain begins to act on what it believes. Win in your mind, and the world becomes yours. You have a choice. You can react blindly, or you can preemptively conquer. That's the key. Repetition is your ally here too. Every morning, visualize success. Every evening, review actions and correct errors mentally. Every moment, catch negative thoughts and replace them with intentional, constructive ones. Do it again and again until it becomes who you are. You have a choice. You can let unconscious thoughts control your actions, or you can sculpt your mind into a tool for relentless success. That's the key. Mental victories build momentum. A small win in the mind often precedes a large win in reality. Picture yourself confidently handling rejection. Picture yourself speaking in front of a crowd. Picture yourself completing a difficult task flawlessly. By the time it happens in real life, it's already familiar. It's already conquered. Your brain runs the scenario, eliminating fear before it manifests. You have a choice. You can let life surprise you, or you can run simulations in your mind and face reality fully prepared. That's the key. Negative thoughts are sabotage. Catch them early. Name them. Replace them. Don't let "I can't" become action. Replace it with "I will." Don't let doubt dictate timing. Replace it with preparation. Don't let fear prevent action. Replace it with mental rehearsal. You have a choice. You can feed the wrong thoughts, or you can starve them and feed victory. That's the key. Consistency is critical. Mental discipline is built over time. One visualization isn't enough. One rehearsal doesn't transform the brain. It's daily, hourly, constant. A CEO thinks through scenarios every day. A champion runs mental rounds daily. A student rehearses answers and strategies each evening. You have a choice. You can wait for inspiration, or you can engineer your mind daily, relentlessly, intentionally. That's the key. Mind over matter isn't a cliché. It's fact. You cannot control every situation in life. You cannot control the world. But you can control the first reaction, your mind. Control your thoughts. Control your focus. Control your preparation. Then the world responds. Win in your mind first. The rest becomes execution. You have a choice. You can let circumstances control you, or you can dominate from the inside out. That's the key. Here's your mental preparation roadmap. Start each day with visualization. See your victories. Rehearse responses to challenges. Don't wait for surprises. Catch negative thoughts early. Replace them with constructive ones. Use affirmations to reinforce belief in your mental strength. End each day reviewing wins and losses. Learn mentally before acting. Repeat daily. Build mental muscle. Strengthen the pathways. Apply the same intensity in preparation as in execution. Remember, small mental victories stack into massive real-world wins. Your mind is your first arena of victory. Every thought shapes action. Every action shapes reality. You have a choice. You can leave it to chance, or you can master it relentlessly. That's the key. Win in your mind, and the world becomes yours. You have a choice. You don't need permission. You don't need luck. You only need mental discipline. That's the key. Chapter 2. Breaking the Chains. Mastering your beliefs. Your mind is the battlefield. Your thoughts are either allies or enemies. And the most dangerous enemies are invisible. Limiting beliefs. Those quiet statements you repeat in your head every day. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. It's too late. They feel true, but they are lies. You have a choice. You can believe them, or you can challenge them. That's the key. These beliefs are chains. They hold you back from promotions, opportunities, investments, relationships, and life itself. They are invisible shackles that stop movement before action begins. A professional who doubts their skills avoids asking for a raise. An entrepreneur fears the first investment and misses the chance that changes everything.